Welcome back, the Keto family. Today we're making a low-carb General Tso's chicken. If this is your first time with us, don't forget, hit the subscribe button below and the bell icon so you don't miss upcoming videos. Alright lovelies, so as always, everything I'm using today is going to be listed right down there in the description below, and then at the end of the video you'll find a nutritional information card so you know the macro breakdown for this. So my family has been on a Chinese food kick. You might be getting several different videos from me because we've just been craving Chinese food, so I've been finding a bunch of different recipes for us. I'm starting off today with chicken breast. You can use chicken thighs as well if you prefer. If you don't want chicken altogether, by all means substitute your protein of choice, although I don't think fish would go good with this. Just saying. Alright, so I got 1.5 pounds roughly of chicken, and I cut it up into chunks. You can cut up whatever size you prefer. I got like 1-inch strips in here, so whatever size you're comfortable with, go ahead and cut that. I have 2 eggs already beaten. I got 3/4 cup of almond flour, it's already been sifted, and 3/4 cup of crushed pork rinds. You can buy them pre-crushed if you want to. They are way expensive. I buy the big tub for $5 something from Sam's Club, run it through my food processor and get mine that way. It's much more cost effective. Alright, so to start, I'm going to go ahead and mix the pork rinds in with the almond flour. Alright, we're going to give this a good stir. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, my Chick-fil-A copycat recipe, my fish sticks, anything like that, you'll find a very similar breading mixture in all of those. That's because I found that the equal part of almond flour and crushed pork rinds is absolutely the perfect breading mixture for just about anything. I think even my schnitzel had it in it. The schnitzel might have had some Parmesan cheese in it though. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it is just the perfect breading mixture. I will use it on everything because it comes out perfect every time. Alright guys, so if you see me do this once, you've seen it 1,000 times to bread this. We're just going to take the chicken, dredge it through the egg. We're going to drain off the excess, put it in the breading mixture. Using your dry hand, pack on those breadcrumbs. I like to really pack them on because I don't like thin breading. I find the more firmly you pack it, the better your breading is. I'm going to finish up this bowl, and I'll see y'all guys back in a few minutes when they're all breaded. Alright guys, so I finally finished breading all this chicken. Now I did underestimate how much breading I was going to need for this, so I ended up having to mix up a little bit more. But make sure in the description below I'll put the correct amounts that I actually needed for, it was a little over 1.5 pounds of chicken. So if you're cooking less chicken, you probably won't need to make more, but if you're cooking 1.5 pounds or more, definitely adjust a little bit higher like I have it in the description below. Alright, so if you've seen how anyone ever fries anything, you know how this is going to go. We're going to take the chicken, put it in the oil I have over here. It's already hot. Now be careful when you put it in so that you don't burn yourselves. So be about over medium to medium high heat. You don't want too high because you don't want to burn the breading on the outside of this before the chicken has a chance to cook. Alright, you make sure you don't overcrowd the pan. If it's overcrowded, then the chicken won't crisp up nicely. Alright, we're going to let those cook for about 2 minutes on each side. And as always guys, don't forget your splatter shield. You'll thank me later. You don't have to clean up as much of a mess on your countertops. If you want to cut the carb count in this even lower, you don't have to bread these. However, you won't have as good of a texture as you would by breading it. It's my personal opinion, but you'll still get the same nice rich flavors. It's just the breading, it soaks up that juice. It's still crispy but juicy, and it gives it that extra oomph. But if you're really careful about your carbs, and by all means, don't even bother breading these, just pan fry them. Alright, our 2 minutes are up and we are flipping our chicken. Now, depending on how hot your oil is and how thick you cut your chicken, you might need more or less time for these to cook. You do not want to be biting into undercooked chicken, right? Alright, so the chicken is continuing to cook there. I've already started my cauliflower rice in the steamer behind me. If you need to know how I make and store my cauliflower rice, I did a video on that here, so hopefully that'll be helpful to you. So while our chicken's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get the sauce mixture made up. I've got a cup of chicken broth here. I got 2 tablespoons of liquid aminos, 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame seed oil, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. I have 3 tablespoons of tahini sauce, or paste, however you call it. If you've ever looked in the stores, that sauce there, it is loaded with sugar and carbs. So I made my own here because I'm not trying to get all those sugars in my body just for convenience sake. It's a really quick, really easy recipe. I recommend you guys making your own instead of buying it because you'll never find a sugar-free version. I get 2 tablespoons of monk fruit. And I've got 2 teaspoons of fresh ginger, finely chopped. I'm going to stir all that together. Alright, now our sauce is made up. We're just going to set that aside for now. Timer went off to check the chicken and see what it's got. Alright, I think that's going to need just a little bit more time, so I'm going to flip them again and cook them a little bit more. I don't think my oil is quite hot enough when I started cooking them. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned, this is avocado oil I'm using in here today. I prefer avocado oil for frying because olive oil just sometimes tends to leave a bit of a taste to it, whereas avocado oil doesn't. Alright, give that another minute or two and check back in on it. Alright, the first round of chicken has come off. Sometimes in the first batch, I'll cut a piece of chicken open. That way I know I'm getting it cooked all the way through. So it was about 3 minutes on each side for these in the end. Again, just depending on how hot your oil is and how thick your chicken is. I'm going to finish these up. I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, lovely. So we have finally finished cooking up all this chicken. And I've got to admit, I might have cheated just a little bit and I actually had 2 pans running at the same time. Because if you think about it, each batch is cooking for 6 to 7 minutes and that's a lot of chicken. So, just saying, food for thought, right? So I've got pan heating up here over medium-high heat. I got a little bit of avocado oil in the bottom warming up. And to the avocado oil, I'm going to add my garlic. I got 2 cloves of minced garlic here. And these were actually pretty good sized cloves of garlic, but that doesn't bother me because I really like garlic. And then I cut a couple of chili peppers here. I got 6 chili peppers. What I did is I just put a little slit down the side of each one so that flavor can really escape out. So we're going to get this garlic and these chilies cooking just a little bit, not very long. And with garlic, you got to be careful. Do not let it burn because once garlic burns, there's no saving it. You got to start all over again. Give that about 30 seconds for those to get fragrant. Alright, so it's been about 30 seconds and the garlic is wonderfully fragrant. So I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken that we finished frying up into this. And I did get out my biggest pan because this is quite a bit of chicken. If you have less chicken, you may not need to have as big of a pan, but I do. Alright, just even that out and get a nice little layer going. And then we'll add the sauce that we made up. Give it a quick stir, make sure it didn't separate. Beautiful. So I'm just going to pour the sauce over top of it. And if you wanted that traditional more red sauce that you see with Joe & So's chicken, you can always add like a tablespoon of tomato paste or sugar-free ketchup. And a little bit of sriracha hot sauce if you want a little more kick to it. But personally, the color is not that important to me. Alright, so make sure the heat's up pretty high. I want this to start boiling, then we'll reduce it down to simmer. And something else I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of red pepper flakes on it, just for a little more of a kick. Alright, so our liquid at the bottom has started to boil, so we're going to let this simmer for a few minutes so this chicken can really absorb all those flavors in. Alright, lovely, so this has been simmering for about 3 or 4 minutes, and I did maybe taste test 1 or 2 or 3 of these, and they have really sucked up that juice that's in the bottom of this, and the flavor is out of this world. So I'm going to turn it off. This is considered done. Now, one thing to note, when you're stirring these around to get them coated with the juice, and even when you're serving them, do make sure that you're not really rough with it, because this breading mixture, you know, it's almost like on pork rinds, it will brush off like any other breading mixture, especially when it's still damp with all the juices from this. Alright, lovelies, this is it. It is done and it is amazing. So all I do is I got a couple of green onions here just to garnish the top of it with. And that is it. Dinner is ready. Thanks for sticking with me through this video. Don't forget, leave me a thumbs up down below. And feel free to share this recipe with anybody that you know that's craving Chinese food. and wants a low carb Jones chicken recipe. Until next time, guys. Bye.